Hello everybody, this is Johnny from Gift House in Dothan, Alabama. I'm back again with another video. So today we're going to go from this to this. This was done as a cemetery arrangement. However, you could use it as a table arrangement or in an RV or nursing home. So I'm going to show you how I did it with just a couple of picks and some cedar picks. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this off right here. And it just comes off, it's just glued on there. It comes off real easy. You just take that off, toss that. Now I've already done this, but I did clip off the bottom spikes because I need this to sit down into this foam cone that goes into a cemetery pot. And I would suggest putting it in its own pot anyway if you were going to use it as a table arrangement, because this comes with some little plastic legs that fit on that thing that was on the bottom here. And quite honestly, the tree's not very sturdy. So let me gather my stuff and I'll be back. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is hollow out our cone. And you can see, we've got to make it so this will fit down in it. That's not a problem. I just take my scissors, kind of eyeball the middle, go in here and just start hollowing it out, making it big enough to accept that. And when I get it down into the cement stabilizer, then I'll use, of course, brute force just to push it down in there. But that's not a problem at all. Put it down in here. I'm gonna take it right here. I'm just gonna stick it down in here. Then I'm going to push it down in. Of course, you see that went all the way down in there too. And try to get it down in far enough that I don't have to use anything on the bottom to cover up the styrofoam. I think I did it. Now, kind of messed it up a little bit, so you have to go in and fluff it out. When you get these trees, they come flat actually. So you just have to go in and move these where you want them so it actually looks like a tree. That's not a problem. All right, now this particular customer wanted matching cemetery arrangements, so that's why I'm doing another one. I thought, well, I've already done one. Might as well do a video on how to do this one. Somebody else might want to do their own. But you can get these trees at the craft supply stores. I know I keep mentioning Hobby Lobby and Kirkland's and Joann's, but that's what we have here. But I would imagine you can get them. Not so sure about now. Today's the 4th of December. So about to have a hard time finding them. But if you have one, or maybe next year, you can do it. All right, so that's what we have. What I use are these cedar picks right here. Not this one. And I'll cut them down, and I'm gonna cut them all apart so you have several on each one. So I'm gonna cut them all apart and then I'll be back. All right, so let's get started with it. Now, how many you use will depend on how full you actually want the tree to be. So this is basically 2 of those cedar stems cut. So I've made individual picks like this. And how long, okay, these are pushers. When I say the word pusher, that means that the individual pieces, you can push them up, make them as thick, or bring them down, make them as skinny as you want them. This one's kind of doing weird. Anyway, it won't matter. So what I do is I push them up about like that. And how long the stem is here depends on really how much you want to put into the tree itself. And the stem needs to probably be a little longer on the bottom than it is on the top parts, because see, if you just stick that in there like that, it's gonna stick out too far. And we wanna maintain the shape of the tree. So now I'm just gonna start putting them in there. And off the camera, I have a glue gun already heated up, and I like to use a generous amount of glue on these so that they don't come out. Be careful though, because it will burn you. So I'm just sticking them in, you see? Just stick them in just like that. And I try to be uniform with it, so what I do on one side, I do on the other side, and just kind of work my way together. So take the stems, push them up, clip them off a little, glue on here, and stick it in here. Stick it in. I see I'm kind of keeping the same length as what's already there, just letting it shoot out just a little bit past, and you'll see the effect that I have. So I've got one on each side. Now I'm going to do it on these sides, and then I'm going to come in here and I'll just work my way up. So I won't be doing a whole lot of talking while I'm doing this. Also, you see I've got it sitting on a turntable. That makes it a lot easier whenever you're doing a floral arrangement that has to be uniform on all sides. Then you can just turn it around. Okay? Put that on the bottom. Now what I'm gonna do is I've got 1, 2, looks like I've got 6 in there. I'm gonna do that all the way up, and then I'll come back and just kind of fill in if I think it's too sparse. And I can already see there are going to be some places where I'm going to have to fill in. But also remember, we're going to put in the berries, which I've already cut apart, and I'm going to show you a tip with this too. And then the miniature poinsettias. And it may look like there's not a whole lot for these things to stick to, but you can see all up in there, there's all these bristles. That glue, once it dries, you just about can't pull these things out of there. I actually put this on our Facebook page and have had a few inquiries, so I might actually be doing more of these. We'll see. And I'm just kind of filling in the gaps as I go. Just trying to make it look balanced. Not too worried about working my way from top to bottom. I always start on the bottom, but then usually with something like this, I just kind of eyeball it as I go and fill in the gaps. See how it's filling that tree up? And like I said, some of these gaps will be filling in with berries and flowers. So, you know, once I get through putting all these cedar pieces in, then I can look at it and see where I need to put the other stuff. See right here, need something there. Now, one of these cedar bushes that I was using was not a full bush, so I may have to tap into another one. That's okay. But basically, it takes 2 of those cedar bushes in order to get this tree as full as I like it. Using this cedar as filler is one of my favorite things to use. And I like to use this cedar all year. It makes such pretty greenery. See, this glue's getting down here on everything, but that's how this hot glue works. See, when I get to the top and start pushing it in, I kind of angle it up a little bit because we want the tree to maintain its normal shape. All right, now I do see I need a little bit more, so I'm gonna take another one of these cedar bushes and cut some pieces off of it real quick. So just bear with me here. And there's 4, I believe. That might be enough. Oops, right here using the clippers. There we go. So I'm going to go through here, just kind of eyeball it and see where I need a little extra. Place it right in here. And this cedar too offers a lot of contrast with the design, which is another thing I like about it. Just putting it right in there, right here. Dark tree and this light cedar. It's really pretty. I mean, honestly, you could do this and just put a bow on it and probably have a really nice table arrangement. I'm gonna cut a little bit of that off because that's bothering me. Actually, I can just pull it off. Uh-oh. Yeah, look at this, I can just push it down in there. Remember I said this is pushers, so if it's sticking out too much, just push it down. Push it down in there. All right, I think we're about done with this. Got one more that I need to stick somewhere. And I'm thinking it's probably gonna be I mean, if I have to look this hard, do I really need it? But I think I do. I think I need it right up here. Okay, so there's the base of the arrangement. And I do have a few extra pieces of this cedar if I need it once I get everything situated in here. So the next thing I'm gonna do is the berries. Now, I've already cut my berry bush apart. And so I have these. All right. So what I do with these, so I'm gonna show you a little secret. So you can see these are pretty long. And I don't need the stems to be this long. And the berries, each little bunch is long also. So what I'm gonna do, and it looks like there's a couple of bunches on each stem, and there's a couple of leaves. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut these. They're pushers also, so I'm gonna push this up right here, like that. Then I'm gonna cut it, leaving enough stem that I can have two pieces. So basically I'm taking that one bush and making two pieces. I mean that one stem and making two pieces out of it. And with this, I'm just gonna start sticking it in random places. But what I do on one side, remember I do on the other. So I'm gonna turn it around, I'm gonna come over here and stick one in. And I don't know where that piece, oh, right here. Okay, so let me show you a little secret here. I always take my needle nose pliers, and where I cut it on top, I take it and I bend it. So that when I push this thing up, it won't push off. And that's not gonna be seen anyway, because these have a berry on the tip, so when you push them up, unless you push really hard, they're not gonna come off. So you need something to keep that from coming off. So I'm gonna go ahead and push it up. Really? Like that. And then I'm probably gonna cut this off a little bit. All right, and I'm just gonna stick it right down in here. All right, so I'm just gonna continue doing that. Gonna take, now, okay, so here's something. So these leaves, like there's not any berries in between here, but since they're pushers, all I gotta do is take this leaf off, take this one off, I'll take these berries off, put my leaf back on. And it doesn't matter if there's one clump or two clumps, whatever the berries, the idea here is just get the berries in there. So I'm restructuring my pick. That's all right. Doesn't take much to do that. Stick that in there. And now I've got this right here. I'm gonna go ahead and bend it. Put my berries on. bust this stuff out. Work our way around. I've got to make these berries last because I didn't have but one stem of those. Let's see, I'm just gonna push that up. Okay. Take this, curl it, push that up. That one might be sticking out too far. Nope, that's good. Here. I'll be honest with you now, you getting all up in here with my hands, I am getting into that hot glue a little bit. So if you see me flinch a little bit, that means that I've got my finger in that hot glue. Okay. Need one right there. Push it up. I'm being careful not to let my berries stick out too far or any further than the actual cedar. Don't forget to curl it when you cut it right there, because if you do, if you do forget, then it could slide off. So let me show you something here. This came off, and I have a spot right here that I can put it on. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put just a little bit of glue on here, but I'm not gonna put a whole lot. It's already slid off one time, but I'm not gonna put a whole lot on there because you'll melt it and it won't go on there at all then. So I'm gonna stick it right back on. That glue will hold it on. All right. Down here with it. All right, so we got this, pretty much this whole side we need to do. That's just got some leaves. I kind of got gypped on the berries on that one. I'm gonna put it aside. May stick those leaves in there later, I don't know. Something right in here. right up here. Need some right in here. All right, I'm down to my last three, so I got to place those strategically. Remember, we still got the flowers to go. I don't have any more of these berries, so if I run out and need something that's filler, I've got other picks that have other berries in it, so I'll be able to fix it. These right up here. Okay. I am cheating just a little bit. I have the other one sitting over here so I can kind of look at it as I go. But I got 2 sets of berries left. Don't like that. Right here. All right. And then I've got one more. This is where I need it the most. I'm thinking I either need it right here. You know what, I may fill that up with flowers. Probably need it down here. So let's do that. Okay, so here's what I've got so far. So I've just got berries stuck in here strategically. Now I'm gonna add my flowers. Now what I did on the other one is I put a few flowers up top as kind of a topper. And I'm gonna do the same thing with these. Now these only have one leaf, but it doesn't really matter that much because I have all this other greenery. So I'm gonna take my flower pick, I'm gonna cut it also. And this one's gonna be kind of short because it's going up here as pretty much the topper, part of the topper of this. Stick this down right in here. Okay, and I'm just gonna make it in a pretty design on the top. Curl them just like the others. Cut it short since it's going on top. Okay, and I need one on this side. Right, see how it looks like the flowers are the topper. It's okay, I'm gonna put another one in right here. That's all right, I can do that. So I'm gonna leave it a little longer because I'm gonna have to push it down in there. Okay, so there's my topper. Now I have all these flowers here that I'm gonna work with. And I'm basically gonna go in and put the flowers in amongst the berries. You'll Let's see how I do that. Gotta get some of this glue off here. But I'm gonna leave enough. So I can stick those flowers in there. See? Just like that. I'm the world's worst about using my tools. Covered them up. You see I'm pushing those flowers in there too, because once again, we don't want them sticking out any further than the tree itself. All right, so what I'm gonna do is cut the video right here, fill these in, rather than sitting here and watching me do this whole thing. Fill these in, and then we'll come back and look at it once I get this done and see if we need to do anything else to it. All right, so here's the finished arrangements. The one on the left is the one I did yesterday. I said we'd come back and look at them and see if we need to do anything else to them, but we don't. So I just wanted to do a quick little clip here to show you what the finished product looks like. Of course, you can see I'm out in my studio, which is actually in a metal barn on my property. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.